Get people away from the radar for too long, but we want you to take a look at this.
Yeah, this video sent into the WTOC newsroom. This is out of the Fort Stewart area. This was probably about 15 minutes ago. You can see tornado touching the ground. Tree limbs down on the side of the roads there. As you can see, this video that's been coming in from Liberty County, and now we are watching that storm as it's moving north.
We started getting calls and people saying we saw the tornado. You're never quite sure what people mean when they say we saw the tornado. Now we know. We know exactly what they mean when they saw this come through that area. Trees down. Now we're getting some pictures as well from Fort Stewart, and you can see the size of that storm. We're going to let Jamie and John tell us in just a little while how that size compares, what that means. But mostly we need to let you know where this is headed. So if you have our app, you can download that and you can look at that and tell exactly where it is. John and Jamie, you're going to be back in just a minute. They're going to put up those radar pictures again, bringing the cones so you can see the timing on this, the exact timing on where it's headed to which area specifically.
And of course, we want to keep you alert. Stay tuned to WTOC. Download our weather app. Make sure you have that. If you have any pictures, videos, send that to pics@WTOC.com. Here we are seeing the areas that we have the tornado warning, severe thunderstorm warnings in effect. You can see that behind us right now. We do want to check in with meteorologist Jamie Erdl.
And right now, those tornado warnings, yes, there is a thunderstorm warning in the Baxley area that lasts until 6:15, but the tornado warning right now in effect 6 p.m. Here, there's two swaths. There's very specific about where these tornado warnings are. And this one in effect until another 10 minutes as it crosses 119 toward Pembroke and portions of 280, and this one crossing 144 and I-16. And right now, you can see the severity of this. This is what we call the echo tops. This is how high the storm gets. Now, once you get into the 30,000 feet range, which is the one that looks like right here, that's the one that moved out of the Fort Stewart complex, packing that what I believe may be an EF1 or EF0 tornado, and you can see the damage kind of matching up with the definition of an EF1 tornado. That is still packing a punch with a 30,000 foot cloud top, and it continues to move toward Pembroke at this time, so be alert if you're in that area. Good news is as it tracks just east and north of 119 crossing the county line, a lot of this is uninhabited area, but still, if you're in the area of Pembroke, you need to take cover. You need to listen to us, and you need to take us with you on the mobile app because you can watch us live stream. You can watch us on your phone as we track this here with you. If you have to go to a safe space, you definitely want to take your phone with you, and you can listen to us in your bathroom or your closet or anywhere that you've already deemed safe space. So this cell right here along 119, we're going to track that for you as it moves toward I-16, Black Creek area at 6 o'clock. Now the warning for that is until 5:45, but still these warnings have been diminishing and then popping back up, so you really need to keep with us because they keep refreshing. 607 is the Blitzton area. I'm going to switch over here and show you where this one may cross 144 and head into the Pool area. So a new box is going to pop up, and actually Pooler's not in that. So that's the good news there. But Meldrum, you are in it as well. We are just getting new pictures into the WTOC newsroom. I'm going to toss it to Wendy Redmond at the First Alert Desk.
Well, that's right. We are continuing to follow storm damage reports here at the First Alert Desk, and we do have those new pictures that we want to show you right now. Wow. Yeah, these pictures are from a viewer in the Fort Stewart area where we again are hearing reports of a twister there. Just incredible. And then this video, I just can't wrap my mind around this. Lots of downed trees in the area and other damage out there. Again, a look at that unconfirmed twister. EMA says the cell was first reported near 15th Street, then it went near the golf course, and then near the Newman Gym. So they're saying it's roughly a straight line that it was traveling there. So EMA tells us as a preliminary thought, they think that this was most likely just one tornado in their minds. But again, this is all still coming in, and we're still learning more about this, and we'll keep you up to date here at the First Alert Desk. Stay safe out there, and if you do have images you would like to share with us, pics at WTOC.com.
And make sure you take those images safely. We love to see them, but make sure you take them very safely. That tornado you just saw is what inspired this tornado warning until 6 o'clock. There's a second rotation. We don't have any confirmation of a tornado on the ground. That's in effect until 5:45. And the good news, perhaps, our Baxley, Appling County severe thunderstorm warning is still just a severe thunderstorm warning, and it's in effect until 6:15 for this evening. Those are the current active warnings that we have right now. Again, we're watching this rotation. It's gone from red back to orange, meaning it's moving up from the surface and perhaps not threatening immediately. Notice the wind damage that we're getting back here north of Waycross. This would be perhaps in Douglas County over toward or Coffee County over towards Douglas. Notice all the wind damage that's being reported here. We expected that. Getting the rotation is from these renegade cells that are ahead of the system. That's what's kind of caught everybody by surprise. This particular cell here is now working its way just south of Pembroke. Is it getting into Chatham County? Not just yet, but you folks in Bloomingdale are hearing some noise. You folks over in the Pooler area are starting to get some rain. Savannah Quarters doesn't quite have it yet, but if you look at northern Bryan County, that's got some of the activity, especially some of the heaviest rainfall crossing the Ogeechee. We'll watch that very carefully. This particular cell here, watch as the sweep comes through. It kind of highlights the interior of the storm, and it has quite a bit of locally heavy rainfall and very damaging winds. That's south of the Pembroke area. Here's the main line back here. Swainsboro, you're getting some of the heavier rain. Vidalia is now getting some of the heavier rain. Earlier we saw some rotation that was indicated there. That's now fallen apart as the air has become rain cooled. That's another big part of the story. We had highs today up into the low 80s again. That's warm air powered by the sun that you may have seen in the middle of the day, and that's what's helped invigorate some of these heavy and severe thunderstorms that have generated a couple of tornadoes across the area. Again, Savannah, you're in good shape, but again, Chatham County, West Chatham, continues under tornado warning until 6 o'clock. That's the sirens you're hearing. And here in the Baxley area, we're watching this cell that we thought might become tornadic as it's worked now into Appling County. Bacon County, you're out of the woods, so to speak. It doesn't quite have the definition just yet. I've got 3D radar I'm going to try to show you here in just a little bit. I do want to show you some of the lightning, which is a real good indication of where some of the storms are located at this point. This is the cell that we thought might become tornadic. It is under a warning until 5:45. This is the cell in Baxley, and this is where we're going with the main event. There's quite a bit of thunder and lightning that's included in this area. So Mike and Jody were watching the things work through the afternoon. At this point, they're starting to settle down just a bit, but still you need a lot of caution, and especially if you're in Chatham County driving west on I-16, you're seeing those dark clouds right ahead of you. People are slowing down. Please take it easy and careful. And look at our Granger Honda picture, Jody. Look at that.
Yeah, check that out. We're checking out the traffic as it's heading out on I-16, heading westbound. It's looking off into the distance, too. You are seeing those darker, grayer clouds out there. That's part of that system that we do have to be wary of. You're seeing also traffic moving eastbound on I-16. That is a live look. We've had that reported twister down on Fort Stewart in Liberty County, but that has already passed the Hinesville area, moving to the north.
And this is where the tornado warning is still in effect until 6 p.m., so 15 more minutes. But I wanted to show you right here, this is not a good indication. Right here, I'm going to draw exactly where this is. So if you're listening, if you can hear me, if you can see me, if you're looking and watching on your phone in a safe place, right here is where we call a bow. And that bending right there, that bow echo, if you will, I'm going to draw a little arrow right here. That is not good news. We don't want the storm to bow out like this. This is what we always look for when we're looking for severe weather. So right now, if you are on 119, if you know somebody on 119, just south of 280, Pembroke, Ellabelle, Black Creek, you're in this storm. We do not like this, what we call a bowing of the storm, a little comma, if you will. So we're going to watch this, and we saw rotation on our maps, and that is not a good sign. We'll continue to watch this. This warning may still be in effect after 6 o'clock, but this tornado warning is issued until 6 o'clock for areas in Pembroke, in Pooler, western Chatham County, of course, and so So as we try to track this to see where this specific location is going, let's see if we can hit a city. And your city, if you pop up on this box, Elabel 604, you need to take cover right now. That is your warning. 15 minutes out, you're good to go to get in that interior space. Take us with you on your cell phone and make sure you are in a safe place. In the Lanier area, it's 6. However, right here, you want to make sure that we are watching this area. Estimated rainfall, not impressive. So if you're expecting a big show, some rain, some thunder, some lightning, it isn't happening. It's just rotation, and the heat of the day actually helped fire those storms up, and the winds that went through, that's what turned it into a tornado. Chief Meteorologist John Weatherby can explain more about that.
Well, and I can follow all the social media applications that are talking about trees that are down, tree limbs, debris on the roads. You're going to find a lot of that kind of storm damage unless you're under a tornado like we saw from the video in Hinesville. If you missed it, stand by. We'll show it again, or you can check our Facebook page. It's on there now. The 5:45 tornado warning, that's now expired. The 6 o'clock tornado warning is still in play. There may be others that are issued. This is a severe thunderstorm warning for the Applin area headed up toward the Altamaha River. But look, we've got on our storm tracker 2 new areas of rotation. One, that's the one that's just here from the cell that we've been tracking most of the afternoon. See how this continues to work toward the Effingham area. And here's the other one in the Barnwell and Hampton County area. Nothing yet into Chatham County, but this is getting ready to cross I-95. It has already started to do so across portions of Jasper and even into Beaufort County. You can see this is where our radar is located. That's why there's the little hole there. But watch these rotations as we go through. We'll zip in a little bit closer, give you a sense of some towns. Anytime you see white, that's also a concern. And Jamie was talking about the bowing of this storm. That's very bad. We don't want to see bowing, especially in a long line, but in an individual cell that can happen a little more quickly. We'll watch and see how this plays. At the moment, though, looks like some really strong winds are headed south of the Pembroke area, getting ready to cross I-16, headed into Effingham County, headed into Pooler County. Here's the action, and Jody mentioned this question before. What's the action for you to take? If you're in the path of this storm, you need to seek shelter now. There may not be a big storm in terms of a large tornado like you would see in a movie, for example. It may just be some gusty, damaging winds or downbursts, a microburst that may be forming in this white area right here. But we're seeing an indication of rotation with elevation, so you need to watch that. Here's better news. The rotation we had earlier in Hampton County headed up toward Barnwell, that's now lost. It's now just simply straight line winds, so that's very encouraging and well. But we'll keep track of that particular cell as that heads across inland Bryan County, headed toward Effingham County, and headed toward West Chatham County. Now, I believe Wendy has some new video. Wendy, please share from the First Alert Desk.
Yes, I do, Big John. Pictures and video just continue to flood our Facebook and email inboxes. So go ahead and take a look at this latest one just into our WTOC Facebook page. Okay, so you see the viewer here. This is out at Fort Stewart, by the way. Okay, so we're outside of a home, and you can really see the wind picking up, and then he's going to pan over a little bit. And there you can really start to see some of that rotation going on there. Now, we do want to advise anybody, if you are going to be taking video of storms, please be very, very careful. EMA is telling us they believe this will be one twister that they believe went from 15th Street to the golf course area and then to the Newman Gym. Of course, we will stay on top of all of the breaking news pictures and video here at the First Alert Desk. Keep you posted on what we receive. But again, everybody, please be careful out there, guys.
And we do want people to be aware out there. Call somebody if they are in the path of that. Text them. Get an alert to them so they can seek shelter immediately. Also advised out there, seeing those winds whipping around and things, just debris,
right,
things that aren't tied down, that can easily get into your way and also create chaos.
Like John said, it doesn't necessarily have to be the huge tornado. It's just going to be that wind, and it could be sporadic. The pets, if you have pets outside, get them inside. inside. Cats, dogs are going to run when they hear the noise. They're going to be scared, so that's an important thing to do while you have the time as well. I do want to ask John a question right now. When we were looking at the video earlier of the first tornado from Fort Stewart, you could see a smaller cycle in back of the large one. So is that a double tornado? Or
it's called a twin.
Okay.
There's a vortex that turns in a cyclonic motion. It's not uncommon for another to form in an anti-cyclonic motion. Usually it gets absorbed into the main funnel cloud and doesn't become an issue. But that was one. I'm glad you caught that. I wanted to have an opportunity to describe to you what you were seeing there on that video. It wasn't a large wedge tornado. It was much smaller. Clearly it looked like a tornado, and I remind you the National Weather Service will be visiting Hinesville tomorrow to double check and make sure that's exactly what happens. How do they do that? They look at the damage on the ground, how far things were moved from their original location, if things are in a circular motion or if they're all in a straight line motion. And this is important to a lot of folks who have insurance coverage, that they're not covered unless it's a tornado, or perhaps their policies are written in such a way that they may not get some help from their insurance company in some cases. So all that being said, whenever you see a twin, that's a developing storm and trying to get stronger. If you watched a little bit farther in that video, and we'll show it again here in just a minute, eventually the twin is absorbed, and that's as strong as the storm is going to get. Now let's get updated on where the storms are right now. Jamie, are you ready to go?
I am ready to go, John, and I just wanted to show you the cone of where the tornado warning is. You can see it at 144, and most of 144, 204 if you're on Fort Argyle Road, crossing the county line into West Bryan. You can see Ellabelle is under this, and right now satellite radar, this is what the cell that we've been watching. So good news here, well, not so much good news here. Right now, that area is still packing a punch, and that rotation that we saw earlier, and that bow echo is what we call a bow. That bowing is still right here. Let me see if I can draw a little arrow for you. So watch on your screen. If you were on 204 in the area of Fort Argyle moving out to the Pembroke area, if you know anybody in that area, they need to seek shelter immediately. Do not let your friends or family drive in that area. Don't go to somebody who may be affected by that. And right here, another portion, another little hook. That's another thing you're going to hear. You're going to hear a lot about a hook and an echo and a bow, and those are not good words when you're hearing a tornado warning. Hook, bow, echo, not good words. You can see that bow right there, and I know I drew over that, but that's a little bit of a hook action. So Black Creek still has to be in the caution zone. This will last another 6 minutes, but I believe that the National Weather Service may extend this tornado warning. So please stay with us, and please make sure that you have somebody in your area, in that area that you know of, that they are alerted on Facebook and on Twitter. You can follow us, all of us on Facebook and Twitter, and we're posting videos as much as we can. And I want to show you where this is tracking right now. This is kind of sitting over this area on 119, and as it moves over the Fort Argyle area, if you are on 16, if you're heading home, westbound I-16 is not the place to be right now. If you can stay at work, if you're watching us on your live stream, on the live stream app, if you can stay at work, please do so. If you know somebody who works in Savannah and travels westbound on I-16, tell them just to stay at work for now, because Ellabelle 6 o'clock, Black Creek 604, 611 in Eden, 617 in Bloomingdale, and 621 in Pinora. That's when we can expect this cell right here with the three words we don't like to talk about, hook, bow, and echo. That is when it's going to be moving into your area. Now, I know a lot of you are concerned about the timestamp and that the tornado warning is in effect until 5 minutes. However, this is still packing a punch, so the National Weather Service may extend that, and we're going to stay with it as well as it continues to track along Fort Argyle and I-16. John?
And Jody made the point that's very important at this point. The phone is so important. Not only do you get the First Alert weather app that tells you where the storms are, not only do you get our interpretation, your experts helping you figure out where the storms are located and which way they're going, but if you're in an area that's not getting any storminess, call somebody that may be in that area or driving into that area, or text them so they have all the information. What do you want to know?
Okay, this is what I want to know. And this is the area that you're talking about, that Jamie was talking about.
Look at the twins.
This may be extended. This is what we we saw on the video when we saw the main tornado area, and then you could see the smaller one, and it was sucked into it. But this is what it looks like on your radar.
On the storm tracker, this is what it looks like.
Two different circular arrows there. So that's, again, what you call the twin.
They're called twins. Now, in this particular case, these are two cyclonic twins. They're both spinning in the same direction.
Right.
The one in the Hinesville tornado was anti-cyclonic. It was going backwards, and that's how it got absorbed or pulled into the main parent cell. These two guys are together. If that changes color to orange and to red, that's a tornado dropping to the ground. Also, you pointed this out. What's that?
Yeah.
Remember we were talking about this thunderstorm that was coming out of the Appling County and is now past Baxley? Let me see if I can get a closer view of it. There's Savannah. Stay right where you are, Jody. There are the twins, and you can see that a little better what they look like and how that's continuing to head toward Effingham County, toward West Chatham County. You folks in Pooler, Bloomingdale, Ertl has been really very good about talking about Bloomingdale, the Guyton area, Marlow, headed up toward Rincon eventually. But back here, whoops, I'm sorry. Give me one more punch here. I think I need one more. No, I lost it. Okay. Well, this is that cell.
There it is.
This is the one with the bow that we've been talking about that is particularly worrisome, may have some very damaging winds.
This is moving up in this way, moving this. Now back behind it, again, you said that's still the main event. Main event happening.
And here's the leading edge of the main event with some very damaging winds and vivid lightning.
And what I just noticed before we flip to this is some of those areas with the clouds, with the wind,
the green arrows going up.
Some of those had gone away.
Yes.
So does that they're going to come and go yet?
They will come and go, but as we lose the heating of the day, we're now getting to the part of the day. Jamie made this point earlier. The later these are, the less risk there is for us, which is a wonderful and very important point. If it times out just right, we just passed high tide. So if we get heavy rain, we're not going to see a lot of urban flooding in the Savannah area and Chatham County. That's absolutely wonderful. Secondly, as these come in our general direction, we're starting to get a sense that they're starting to weaken, and that's exactly what we're expecting for the night.
All right, so this is your main focus right now. Tell us again, this is the
tornado warning in effect. That's in effect until 6 o'clock this evening and may be extended in the next few minutes. Well, there we go. And then this particular cell coming out of Baxley, coming out of the Appling County area, we'll pay attention to that. And again, Savannah, so far, Chatham County, we're fine.
Right.
But I bet your dogs are barking.
I know. I've been texting people. I know other people have too, saying Savannah is not out of the mix just now because of the way this is moving. So everybody needs to keep updated on this, keep watching us, because we're just going to follow it all the way through. All through the night if we have to. Let's go to Mike real quick.
It is going off right now. Severe weather in this area until 6:30 now. Well, you just got that on my iPhone. That is from the National Weather Service. And, of course, we will have much more coming up for you in just a second. The News at 6 starts now. And we want to start the News at 6 with Jamie Ertl, First Alert meteorologist Jamie Ertl.
And we are starting the news at 6, and now we are seeing that tornado warning that was supposed to expire at 6 p.m. It has now been extended. So we were talking about that. Do not pay attention to the timestamp. Please be attentive to what we are looking at. Let's see the alerts here. And right now we're looking at this one that could affect Pooler. So let me zoom out here and show you that if you are watching us right now and you live in the Pooler area, please be aware you are now under that tornado warning. And this one was set to expire at 6 and it has not yet left. And right now we are that just expired. We just hit 6 o'clock and it did expire, but the same kind of area is still is under a tornado warning. So if you are in the area just south of Pembroke, along 119, Fort Argyle Road, I-16, U.S. Highway 80, this portion of southwestern Effingham County, Georgia 30, Highway 21, Rincon, you're just on the cusp, but I'm sure that you know people who live in Rincon but don't live in the city. They just say they live in Rincon. So Port Wentworth, you need to be aware of this. And right now, I wanted to put the national the national radar and weather. So let me zoom out here. This is what we've been watching. This area of a little bit of a rotation, if you will. So right now, let me try to
This is what the storm did out near Diamond Elementary on Fort Stewart. And then you see this BMW here got involved with a tree. Yeah. And looks at the sky. My goodness, I mean, the pictures just are incredible that we have really been receiving here. More cars, and you're about to see another car flipped over in this next picture here again. So a lot of people suffering a lot of damage or seeing a lot of damage in their area. Send us your pictures, pics at WTOC.com, Facebook. Please be safe out there, though. We do have crews on the way to many of these locations, and of course we'll keep you posted as new information comes in.
Let me show you exactly where the track of this tornado warning is. Under this cone right here, if you're living in the western portions of Bryan County. Now, Pembroke, you're not under this warning until 6:30. However, you will see rain, vivid lightning, gusty winds, 280 along this area, and 204. If you're on Fort Argyle Road, if you want to cross the Ogeechee, you need to stay in place. You need to shelter in place. You don't need to be driving in this. That was one of our own driving in it. That's what we do. We try to get you the pictures. We try to get you the information. So please don't do what we do right now. If you're on I-16 heading out of the downtown area, I know you want to go home, but work is probably the safest place to be. And you can watch us on your mobile app. Tell, hey, hubby, you can watch us as you're trying to text him or her to stay safe. So 516, you're in that. And check this out. If you're, as John was saying, the Port Authority may not want to do that with gusty winds. They may close down the ports with the cranes. This is all along Coastal Highway, Georgia 21, I-95. If you're in Port Wentworth, if you're in Rice Creek, if you're in portions of Rincon, you don't have to be in the city proper, but if your mailing address is in Rincon, and that's a big area, you need to tell your loved ones to be careful. Georgia 30 in Port Wentworth, crossing the county line. Bloomingdale 17. I would actually include Marlow in this. Meldrum, Eden, you're in this as well. Now let's put our satellite and radar on top of this, and let me show you here, if I could zoom out and show you a better view right here. This cell, this is the one that tracked north of Hinesville, kept its power, kept its punch, and it has lost a little bit of that. We've been talking about the hook and the bow. This is the bow, this bend right here. That's why this tornado warning is in effect until 6:30. We've also been talking about timestamps because a lot of people are saying, oh, I can breathe a sigh of relief at 5:59. The National Weather Service re-energized that tornado warning just slightly north of the old warning. So scroll through your phone. Your Twitter feed should be updating rapidly. This is the new one that we've been watching. This bow right here is not a good sign. So you can see that's 16, Fort Argyle. If you're on Old River Road, if you're in that vicinity, that's where you need to take shelter and get out of harm's way and tell somebody that you know that lives there to move as well. So let's track this as it slowly crosses the highway. And I'm going to put Rincon in this path, even though the city proper is not under that swath, that red patch that I showed you under the tornado warning. I'm still going to tell Rincon 6:38, high winds, heavy rains. We're talking about 6:18 for Eden. You are under that cone. 6:22 in Bloomingdale, 6:34 Port Wentworth. Now that's outside of the 6:30 warning. However, these warnings will continue to re-energize, so please be careful in that area. Want to zoom out a little bit more and show you there are some more cells that we are watching. It's raining in other parts of the viewing area, and this is where the actual front is. It's actually now making its way to Statesboro. If you remember last night, I said bell time when school let out. That's when we're going to start seeing the activity in our western viewing area. Well, it's slowed down significantly, obviously, and right now we're going to put that into motion. Now, with cells that we've been watching, we put the cone into place. So where this is a squall line, I'm going to put this into motion. I'm going to draw right here, and I'm going to show you exactly where this should be moving in the next couple of minutes. But right now, Statesboro, be prepared for some heavy rain, wind, and some hail possibly. You're not under a warning. However, be prepared because that's the main event. That's what we've been watching. This area right here, this is what we're watching for the tornado warning. That bow right here just east of Black Creek, that's what we need to be watching. And right now, we're going to toss it back to the desk.
All right, Jamie, thank you for that. And folks, just so that you know, we're not going to leave you alone with this storm until that storm leaves us alone.
Exactly.
At this point, we're going to continue our coverage of this right now. We want you to know that Fort Stewart's gates have reopened. We were told earlier they had closed because, as you saw through those pictures we were showing you earlier, including those flipped vehicles, Fort Stewart took a little bit of a hit there.
Right. And if you haven't been watching us since earlier when all of this first started to erupt and you're just trying to catch up, we're going to do that for you right now. John's going to do that.